an extension of stewardship. This was a way of God telling us that we need to fill the earth and subdue it. He gave us the potential to do what is expected of us. Then, when we look at the theme that we have today, generally as the United Church of Zambia, every time we've been given a day such as this today, most of the times as a church, we quickly relate to the people that are standing in black and white as the stewards. When we talk about Stewardship Sunday, many are the times that we are going to attach this day, attach this theme to the people that are standing like me, that are the first to be in church, the last to leave church. When we talk about Stewardship Sunday, we are normally thinking of the people that are moving around church, keeping order, making sure that the body chongo, taking care of the church property. And I'm sure even as we are here today, Stewardship Sunday, even now, many of us have a thought saying, this is about Bakangalila for the uniform gave. But alas, I'm here to explain what that means. When we look at stewardship is a word that means what I'm going to say. Stewardship is a word that talks about a person who looks after other things. Stewardship can be related or explained as an official appointment to supervise arrangements and to keep order at large events such as church, weddings, kitchen parties, no kwashana. Then lastly, I will define stewardship as a person that is employed to manage another person's property, especially large house or estate. From the definition, we can quickly relate to year number 2 Nachilanda. And that is why we are celebrating Stewardship Sunday, meaning stewardship is an official appointment. When it comes to the mission of the Lord, as we observe from Genesis to the last book, it talks about or narrates how God has apportioned each one of us. When the fall of man began, God's mission was of salvage in nature, meaning God's mission was in a way that He would want to save abantu bonse. And for Him to save humankind, He has given a mission that each one of us has to take part. So today, as we talk about Stewardship Sunday, even before we go on I would love to explain or say a few things about the scriptures that we read today. From our readings today, we had Psalms 24, verse 1 to 2. This is a book or a chapter that amused me, because when I was looking at this, I look at this person that is acknowledging Ubukulu Wakwalesa. I look at this person that is really saying, Mwelesa fiance fintu fienu. And for him to say fiance fintu fienu, he's a man that is acknowledging Ubukulu Wakwalesa. Ngefo tuachimba mwani kula. Testu londolole efyo mwamba. These two verses of this psalm are clearly telling us that Lesa, ni Lesa wafintu fiance, ni Lesa never tukweto for tuaba, that which you think is in your pocket, that which you think is in in your hand, it all belongs to God, including yourself. Psalms is here giving reverence to the Lord. Psalms is here explaining how great and how big Lesa are in our lives. Now, when you look at the parable, or to Matthew 25, this parable is an account of a man, rather a master that had servants. And it happened that on this day this man was living. He had 3 servants that he gave instructions to, or 3 servants that he gave talents. He gave the first one had 5, he gave the second one after 2, he gave the last one Imo. How this man was managing to give them, I think but I would love to ask him then we hear that at some point this man came back. When he came back, each servant gave an account. And the first one gave an account saying, what you gave me, I went and invested. And this is what Nasanga. The second one equally did the same thing. But our last vena, I shall understand so Kalyaman Perakan to Kenu Niaka. And the response that the master gave to this third servant is not something that was pleasing, because at the end of this day, somehow this man was punished, and what he had was grabbed from him rather. In this parable, we are going to learn about 5 things rather. The first one is that the master is Jesus. The second one is that the slaves, who are, we can say, our disciples or the servants, meaning, if we want to say. Then, when you talk about talents, God has given us value, each one of us. He has given us abilities, He has given us capabilities. Then, when we look at the talents, dear beloved, at that time, a talent was something of value. At that point, it was something that was of value, not value or canon. The Bible scholars would say that a talent, or you have paid, just come off a talent was equivalent to Impia Oshomutuenga Bombela for a period of about 16 years. So these talents, despite this man being given Kamo, meaning it was something of great value, it's not something that we look at today, give to silver coin. So each one of them, regardless of the number, they were all given value. And as we look at these talents, every one of us has been given these talents. We've been given different abilities. Then the property that is being mentioned in this is that it is God's vision. Then when you look at the time that the master came back, I would want us to look at it as a time between now, rather a time between Opoyeswala Idom Kabwata. I want us to look at it as a time in between. At the same time, I want us to look at it from the time one is born to the time when one dies. And from these few things that I have said, I would want us to reflect on a few points. The first point being that all things belong to God. All things belong to God. Just like the psalmist had acknowledged that fin to fiancé belong to God. And as I earlier said, that all things that we have belong to God. And when we say all things belong to God, it means imwe abana benu abanganda yenu na fiancé. Then it does not only end but all things belong to God includes everyone who are chata chakwe. It could be wafita, it could be musungu. This includes a Muslim, this includes Hindus, this includes atheists, this includes abantu abalekana. When you look at this point saying that all things belong to God, it gives us another picture of who God is. When he says all things belongs to God, meaning Nilesa who never shows partiality, Nilesa who treats us all equally, Nilesa ulolesha pabalanda abakankala, Nilesa ulolesha pabaina abaonda, Nilesa ulolesha pabatadi pabebi, Nilesa who treats us all as abana bakwe. And because all things belong to God, whether you're male, whether you're female, being born in this world is that God has given you abilities, is that God has given you ukangalila na kupende muli. Like we have already said, a steward is not only a person that is dressed the way I'm dressed. A person is a person. A steward rather is a person that has been brought to no child to do something. As you are seated where you are, knowing that all things belong to God, knowing that you are part of God's mission, knowing that you've been called in this world for a purpose, a reason, wherever you are, whether you're young, whether you're old, whether mulipakati, there's something that you're supposed to do. And when we relate